Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our commodity update, our daily update for technical analysis. I'll give you my financial opinion. We'll step through it, and here we go. I'm going to start with the dollar. The dollar is killing it today, up 0.83%. It does look like it wants to go higher here. We hit our head against this resistance line. We've pulled on back, and we're getting a lot more buying pressure today. Here's our head getting hit on the resistance, and we came on back, and we're getting more buying pressure today. The 10-year yield rocketing higher today, rocketing higher. Actually, it's a little bit scary, 5.18% higher today in a massive bullish engulfing pattern. That usually signals a reversal in the downtrend and that we could potentially go higher. The 10-year yield and oil are closely linked together for the most part. I mean, they're not entirely linked, but they are highly correlated. I'm wondering if something's going on with energy or something like that, and we'll find out. But maybe they're finally selling their bonds. Maybe they're finally doing QT. If they were doing QT, we should see bond prices radically go up. But I'm guessing that they're not doing QT. The CRB index down a little bit. I think that we've got a little bit long, a little bit further to go down before heading higher. This is kind of an ABC correction. So we've got a little bit there. Higher dollar, higher 10-year yield. I do think that is a definite headwind for gold, silver, and platinum. So we were down a little bit for gold, down a little bit for silver, and then platinum was down a little bit as well with that high dollar and strength of the 10-year yield. XAU to gold ratio heading back down a little bit. We have broken the downtrend line. That is positive. So broken down trend line, and we could very much pull back and retest that breakout. Looking at GDX, again, broken down trend line. We're heading back a little bit. Stronger dollar, stronger 10-year yield. SILJ is doing the same thing, but we've broken out of this resistance downtrend line. Scrolling down, looking at crude oil. Crude oil is on the channel support line. Are we going to go higher, lower? Difficult to say. We've got this. It looked really good here with the bullish engulfing through here. Actually, yeah. We had a bullish engulfing through here. Nice hammer pattern. And then we had this large selling pressure day. Not today, but yesterday. That might take some time to work off. It's a big selling pressure day. If you notice, we've had some pretty big selling pressure days, and then we found another one here. So we could head lower in the short term. It is a possibility. We are up against support, though. This is support running across. We'll see if that support line holds. If not, we very well could be heading a little bit lower. Natural gas heading lower. Not that it's that surprising. If you're a platinum member, you know that I said there's a high possibility in the fall that we would pull back. Late summer, fall. We are getting a pullback here. Yesterday, it looked quite good to move actually higher, but today we went lower. Selling pressure came in, smacked us in the forehead, heading lower today. XOP, yeah, you know me, not following natural gas, basically just moving sideways, much like oil. So this guy, on a big long-term perspective, either logarithmic or not, has broken out of all of those resistance lines, and we're sitting on top of a strong support line. Energy service companies heading a little bit higher today, up 1.19%. If you look at it from a logarithmic perspective, we did a little bit of teasing on the line. We got sold back off, and now we're working our way back up again. So that's energy service companies. OIH. Uranium. Sprout Physical Uranium Trust down 2.33%. Hopefully we can get it to load here. We've got nice big buying pressure here, smaller selling pressure. I still think that the buyers are in control and that this could eventually work its way higher. So that still looks good. URNM, nice little bullish piercing pattern that usually resolves itself higher. So the sellers came in and gapped it lower. Buyers came in throughout the day and bought it back up. And that is a reversal candlestick, usually on the short term, statistically, where we could potentially go higher. CCJ, since I've got this up right here, another bullish piercing higher. That's statistically what it's saying. Some of the companies in uranium are starting to go a little bit ballistic. They're starting to get some buying pressure. So a mixed bag in the sector itself, pretty much flat on URNM, but overall we're putting in some positive looking candlesticks in the sector. TAN is crushing it. TAN is moving higher, 0.98. There's some companies that are looking good in TAN. Again, I don't own this as a large position or anything like that. I do have some exposure to this area, but the charts look really good. They're highly dependent on governments subsidizing these things. But right now, this looks fantastic for a move higher out of TAN on a long-term perspective. Looks very solid. COPX getting a little bit of selling pressure today. We're coming back like I thought. We're probably going to come back to this. We'll call it the breakout support line. We used it as support, came back up, and we're probably going to come back to support before heading higher. So that's COPX. CRB to S&P 500. Ratio moving higher today. We got to get back up inside of this pattern or break to the upside. I find it very hard to believe that we are going to head much lower in this ratio. Possibility, yes, we've broken to the downside, but I think it could be a false breakout, especially with that 10-year yield absolutely rolling higher today. Looking at rare earth metals ETF, a little bit lower today, but again, still broken out of the pattern to the upside. Still looks good. Looking at lithium, LIT, basically a flat day today, slightly lower. We're right on the breakout of this this line here, and maybe we come back, hit it. Either way, it's broken out. It looks good. The S&P 500 pulling back a little bit today. Still looks good. Small buying or small selling pressure. Same with the U.S. Composite Index. Small selling pressure, just moving sideways. Nothing really to say here. I still think it's going to go higher over time. If that 10-year yield can calm down, I think it will go higher. If the 10-year yield starts rocketing higher, I think this is going to be a big headwind for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Notice that the S&P and NASDAQ were down today and uranium was slightly up. We need those to decouple. We want them to decouple. Looking at emerging markets, still heading lower. That stronger dollar didn't do any justice for it. I think a weaker dollar will lend itself to an increasing emerging markets index fund, but we're not quite there yet. XHB does not like that increasing interest rate. Selling off today. And that 10-year yield going higher, yeah, it's not going to like that. Looking at lumber heading lower today with the overall XHB, the Home Builders Index, and higher interest rates. Looking at cocoa futures still, this is about to break to the upside here at any second, I think. Wheat heading a little bit lower, doing that back test thing. We've got soybeans heading lower here. We had that nice big selling pressure day yesterday. Corn also heading lower. So we're getting a lot of selling pressure throughout some of these soft commodities. Copper getting sold off a little bit there. MOO, which is the agribusiness ETF, small little down day, looks good to continue higher. That still looks good to me. Broken downtrend line. Looking at aluminum slightly lower today, and on the week slightly lower. Again, it's just basing out, trying to find itself some support, and then the Baltic Dry Index finding support, basically moving sideways. So that's what I've got for today, guys. That 10-year yield is rocketing higher. Interested to see what's going on there. For that to happen, that means that there's a lot of selling pressure in bonds for those yields to rocket higher like that. So very interesting to see that. We'll see what happens these next couple of trading days. Interested to see what natural gas and oil does, what the dollar does, the 10-year yield. The 10-year yield rocketing higher. We'll see if this is a bottom and if it starts to rocket higher. Very interesting to see that though, because that there will put pressure on the overall markets to go lower, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. So, and it's a massive monster day, guys. 5% up is a monster day in a bond in a yield in the bond market. So I'm interested to see what happens the next couple of trading days in the 10-year yield. If you guys like the analysis, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe to the website, Platinum membership in the description link below if you guys are interested. We talk a lot about specific individual companies. I do fractals and looking at companies to see how much leverage they provide to the moves in commodities. And I've got a lot of really good picks, I think. Pretty solid portfolio. You get to see my portfolio as well and what I own. All right, guys. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.